We're going to learn two sector model of Keynes theory of national income. Now this is the first model we are learning in the Keynes theory of the national income. Try to understand the basic assumption. There is consumer, that is household, and there are firms. There is no government, and the economy is closed economy, so there are no import and exports. So it is known as two sector model. When we'll be learning three sector model, government will be introduced. When we'll be learning four sector model, import and export will be introduced. So ultimately Keynes theory is one and the same. Just two sector model is we are not right now considering government and import and exports, and we are trying to understand that. Now try to understand what does Keynes says. Keynes says equilibrium level of national income. Now, national income is nothing but GDP. That is goods and services manufactured in India. Equilibrium level of national income will be is equal to the point at which your income is equal to your expenditure. This is equilibrium level of national income. Now if you want to measure national income, you can measure it by the terms of expenditure, you can measure it by the terms of income also. So what does it say? This is the equilibrium level of national income. This is a C or consumption, or it is also termed as, this is termed as demand of household, demand of consumer goods, plus we are also having firm, so investment. This is nothing but demand of capital goods. Capital goods or the goods which is required by business persons, or the capital or the asset which is required by business person. So this is demand for consumers goods, this is demand for capital goods. So this right hand side will be also termed as expenditure. Is it correct? Now let us go to income side. Income is equal to expenditure, so we have written expenditure side. Sir, why not this expenditure done by government, that is also in the country, because we are assuming there is no government. Why the expenditures which are not done on the goods produced on export, because we are not considering export. Why the goods which we have imported we have not considered, because we are not even considering the import and expenditure. So this is the only when we are learning two sector model, this is the only two things which we need to consider. Is it all? Now what is the income? Now any person living, say even if it is a firm, the owner is an individual. Is it all? So what is an income for individual? Is also consumption. Now you will say, sir, consumption is an expenditure. I agree. So consumption plus savings will be nothing but income. So this will be income. Now this is sometimes also written in a different manner. This is written as demand, this is written as supply. So where the demand is equal to supply, there is an equilibrium price. We have learned it in microeconomics, but this is a macroeconomics. Is it all? This is a demand of a country and it will be matched by production. So sir, how to find out national income? Now national income you can find out either C plus S, or you can find out C plus I. So what does Keynes says? At equilibrium level of national income, only if it is a two sector model, is it C on both the sides get cancelled, so savings will be is equal to investment. So whatever the persons are savings in the household will be nothing but a demand for the capital goods which is required by the firm. Is it all right? Let us represent this idea in a graphical form. Now this is my x-axis. No, I'm not drawn properly. This is my y-axis. This is my x-axis. On x-axis it is income. Now in macroeconomics, income is nothing but national income, so it is GDP, or it can be even treated as output. On y-axis it is expenditure. So we have already learned the consumption function, right? This is autonomous consumption, and the autonomous, this starts from here, and this is my C chart. Will something look like this? Now let me show you. This is an expenditure side. Now let me show you chart for I. I is nothing but demand for capital goods, or demand for the goods required by the firm. Firm is a company, industry, anything. All right. So what does Keynes assume is, or Keynesian theory assumes is, the demand for the goods required by the firm is irrespective of income. So the expenditure, let me try it with different colors. So the expenditure will remain this much irrespective of the level of income, irrespective of GDP. Alright, so it will remain this much. So this is not, I is not dependent upon level of the income. So let's say something like 30,000, and this 30,000 will remain same irrespective of the income increases or income, even if it is 0. Is it alright? So this was a consumption function, this was an investment function. Try to concentrate. I am drawing C plus I. Let me again go to blue. And this will be the line. This will be nothing but C plus I. That's all right. Now try to understand a basic rule which says where income is equal to expenditure. Let me change the color, and I'll be drawing a line where income is equal to expenditure. It will be a 45-degree line. All of you agree? If income is 1, expenditure should be 1. So this point. If income is 2, expenditure should be 2, is this point. Income is 3, expenditure should be 3. Income is 4, expenditure is 4. Income is 5, expenditure is 5. Income is 6, expenditure is 6. So this line will look like this. This, I've not drawn properly, but this is a 45-degree line. Is it all right? So this is a line or a point where income is equal to expenditure, where income is equal to expenditure. Now this is a point. What is this? This is a demand line. We have understood this is an expenditure line, or this is a demand line. And this point will be nothing but equilibrium GDP. And let me term this point as Y. This Y is income or national income will be nothing but GDP. This line even can be termed as C plus S. Is it alright? So if if there's a C plus S, there's a C plus I, and this is the point at which a C plus S is equal to C plus I, and so income is equal to expenditure is this line, and this is nothing but equilibrium GDP. And we will understand in next lecture why this cannot be this, that is this point, or why it cannot be this point. This will be always equilibrium GDP. If this is a GDP, then it will ultimately come to this point. If this is GDP, then also it will ultimately come to this point, and this is an equilibrium point in GDP, and what we are learning is two sector model. Thank you, friends.